How Nadi, my people? So we all know that Rufai, the Arise TV presenter, has been a very unique person when it comes to the political face of this country. Like the only one of the few journalists who see the truth and say the truth the way it is. Well, this one looks like a church program, but I really don't think it's a church program. He was invited and he aired his opinion. Please listen to this one carefully. It's just a 20 minutes discussion, but I trust me, you're going to learn so many things, so many beautiful things that I think for a while you haven't heard so genuinely from Nigerians and politicians. And the beautiful thing is, people he was speaking to were mostly youth at this particular conference. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment if you enjoyed the video.
He's one of Nigeria's most outspoken political commentators who has time and again stood for the demand for accountability and transparency across all spheres of political leadership. If you follow politics and anything that happens around politics in Nigeria, you know this person. Please put your hands together as a big welcome. Mr. Rufai. You can put that on that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I mean, I don't know who he was talking about. He's not talking about me. But you see, all those things he said, I couldn't have done it without somebody. He's the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the El Shaddai, the one who was and is to come. So are you too big to sit down on your seat and be praising my God? Come on, just yada, yada, yada. Wave your hands to him. I cannot do anything because I don't own anything. It is God that gave me capacity and life. And it's that God that I'm going to talk to you about the leave leadership alone. Please just yada to God. Yada. Yada. Wave your hand. Say, we love you, Jesus. Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. So a couple of things I'll talk to you about. Leadership, isn't it? The problem for Nigeria's problem is what? Pure and simple. So why is it that you people get upset when I hold your leaders accountable? Who can create more chaos? If I'm lying, you can see the violence people perpetrated in our election. Was that necessary? No. You know why? Because it is only politicians that think of next elections. You fail to realize that leadership is not positional. You might be in a position of leadership, but you're not a leader. Let me tell you what leadership is. It is dispositional. So you can have a man that sits in a room, that writes books, and is more of a better societal leader than the one that occupies the position. There are people we call eternal leaders and term leaders. Your politicians are term leaders. For 4 years, all they do is they are in charge of power, they're in charge of police and everything. But guess what? After 4 years, you forgot some of them. Go and look at some governors that started in 1999. Who thinks of them today? But there are some leaders because based on their achievements in society, they become eternal leaders. For over 15 years and counting and many more years, the words of people like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie still rings true in Nigeria. Does she hold a political position? So you now see leadership is dispositional. Leadership is as a result of continuous impact that makes a dent in the historical trajectory of a society. So the question is, what have you done in society for you to be called a leader? It's not when people sing and follow you and say, you are a leader, you are a leader. No. Hypocrisy is different from leadership. It's serious business. What have you done to alter the cause of society? Till today, you cannot talk about Miami without talking about Flagler. Guess what? Flagler made a lot of money from Shell, and guess what he did? He invested it in a place that was known for nothing. He started building railroad, building hotels and everything, and those things turned out to be what is Miami today. A leader builds a city. Isn't it? A leader builds a country. And how does he do it? He does it with accountability. If you cannot see the work of hands of somebody, then you know the person is not a leader. So we have too many people that claim to be leaders in Nigeria. But guess what? They are followers. But they claim. For the fact that you have mobile policemen surrounding you everywhere with sirens and everything, doesn't mean you are a leader. They are followers, not just followers, they are followers of the destructive tendency that behavioral patterns have built hitherto in society. I'll break it down to you. The first most important thing you must understand that causes the leadership problem in Nigeria is around this word I'm going to say. Culture will eat strategy for breakfast. The reason why we have leadership problem is because we have a culture of bad leadership. The culture of bad leadership means our leaders don't want to be acceptable. It is only in Nigeria a leader will steal money and they say don't ask me. And guess what? You, the people, made them not accountable. You know why? You know the person was close to you before he became governor or senator. You knew his financial situation. Once he became governor, you know how much a governor earns in salary, isn't it? So why do you want to knock on his door for him to give you something? Because when you do that, you start supporting the illegality society has become. And you complain about them. You complain about the lawmakers, isn't it? But you are the problem. Because you are not taking your future in your hands. And they will build a culture where leaders start to see themselves as not really being accountable to anybody. Because a man that you have gone to ask for money, you think you'll be able to challenge him? He will tell you he's your God. So we've built a culture, and we forget that it's culture that is strategy for breakfast. Have you seen the reason why most of our strategies will not work? Because we built the wrong culture already, and the wrong culture does not make society move forward. So for you to be able to demand accountability from every leader, the question is, do you go to them for all sorts of unsavory favors? If you do, it's best you stop it. Because the more reason why politicians think they can manipulate everybody is because they know that you will come and beg them for favors. The money in the first place wasn't theirs. It was money they were supposed to use to develop your life and your laws. But since they're taking a portion of it and you are coming to beg them for it, guess what happens? You cannot hold them accountable. Secondly, leadership is dependent on foresight, and I'm happy Pastor was talking about long-term planning. A lot of our leaders, can any of our leaders give you a 40-year plan of where Nigeria is going to be in the next 40 years? See, for over 10 years to 20 years, the Lekki-Ikoyi corridor was the fastest growing corridor in the world. But isn't it shocking that today we don't have a rail line that goes through that Lekki-Ikoyi corridor? Are we thinking of the future? Do you know that you had a leader in Lagos called Latif Jacob that had so much foresight that in the 80s planned to build a railway line before the project was stopped? Do you know 40 years after we've just gotten one? And we're complaining about mass, and that one is not even started working yet. And we're complaining about mass transportation. But the question is, if 40 years ago we had planned, we had built railroads everywhere, do you think we'll be having the problems we are having today? Do you think that this fuel scarcity will have beaten harder if only you had a train line that goes across every part of Lagos? The Chinese say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Anybody that doesn't understand that adage is not fit to be a leader. A leader has foresight and thinks of the future. Another thing a leader should do is a leader will deny himself and will die to be able to make the dream become reality. We have too many leaders in our society that don't want to deny themselves. You can't want to enjoy the perks of office and still be able to do for people. It's not done. But again, because of the culture we've built a very, very terrible culture. For you to truly transform anything given to you as a leader, you must learn to deny yourself. Deny yourself of the perks of office. Deny yourself of women. Deny yourself of alcohol. Deny yourself of corruption. There's a popular Irish poet, Brendan Connolly, that says if you want to serve your age, then you must learn to betray it. Deny yourself of the association of your friends that can truncate your leadership. Because you see, once you become up there, people will come. People that never knew your name before will come. They will knock out your door. They will find your house. It is now that a lot of people I'm not talking to in 20 years now call me. You say people don't call you, wait till you get successful. Wait till you get up there. They'll call you. Your phone will ring. They'll call you. They'll tell you they were with you in secondary school. But the question is, how can you stay tall and to deny yourself from all of those luxury things to face your dream? What is your dream? Your dream is the cardinal focus God has set for you. Everybody, something is encoded in your DNA. You were meant to come and achieve something in life. You were meant to come and cause disruption. Your popularity, your fame is not as important as your dream. If you're popular, you're famous, and you don't achieve your dream, you become a waste in life. And that's why you need to go back. You see, before I started, I said, glory be to God. Because I know that God is the person that encoded in me the DNA of the things I'm here to do on earth. Not any man. And that's why I'm sorry, I don't bow down for any man. I only bow down to my God. So it is for you to ask your God that thing He has put in you for you to achieve in your life. And tell Him to give you the manual on how to do it. That's leadership. Because you see, on that day, when God will take account, He will take account of the things He put in you. There are a lot of things He will tell you that you achieved this, but do you know that you have the capacity to achieve more? Just like the story of the talents in the Bible, isn't it? Some of them were given talents, some people went to cover theirs. So if you say because you were so famous and you were spending all your time on a woman or on alcohol or on being a big man in Nigerian society attending all the parties, you didn't achieve the dream God set for you, and you fail to be a leader. So I want you to ask your God, what has He put in you? Because all of us, we're all leaders, isn't it? We're all leaders. So what has He put in you? And how can you achieve it? And denying yourself means a lot. Some of you will learn how not to talk anyhow. I'm going to jam on you, talk too much. Talk too. That is not some things, they are not everything you say. There's something called emotional intelligence and perspective intelligence. Some of you, they can't keep strategic national issues in your mouth. You're already talking. Some of you don't even know how to use contacts. By adventure, you meet somebody, you take your phone, and you're calling them that, who can you get keen? When you keep me 4 times and you don't add value, I'm looking for the closest way to block you on my phone. You know why? Because you're a nuisance. I don't need to be greeted. I need somebody that will impact me so I can impact my world. So these are part of the things. Some of you will learn how to be able to read the room. You see, the most important trait you will ever have as a leader is to read the room. There are some places you ought not to be. It is not every room you should be. It is not every invitation that is a welcome invitation. Silence is one of the most pregnant words in the world. What is silence? You have to learn that. And it's not always easy to learn that. Leadership also means learning those to respond to and those that you don't respond to. I've learned my lessons. It's not everybody I respond to. Those are part of the denial. Because you see, uneasy will always lie behind that way the crowd. It's not going to be an easy trajectory. But you must deny yourself. Because a general does not glorify the spoils of war. He glorifies the accomplishment of mission. And on earth, you are a general. There's something you're here to do. There's a cause you're here to lead. There's a capacity you're here to build. And that's what makes you a leader.